study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Send Help is now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
We're somewhere in the Gulf of Thailand.
Getting us out of here should be your focus. I'm your boss. You work for me.
We're not in the office anymore.
It's bold, relentless, and endlessly rewatchable. Discover why critics give it 93% on Rotten Tomatoes.
You're so fired.
Oh, am I? No help is coming.
Send Help, rated R, now streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+.
And now to talk about our two special guests. A brief introduction of both would be in order. Let us begin, of course, by identifying the two guests that we do have this morning here on the Dr. Sky Show. E.J. Craig, the daughter of an aerospace engineer, E.J. grew up with her eyes to the stars. As a mathematician, she brings rigorous analytical precision to the project. She focuses on the patterns, the logic of the network, and the ground truth of observational astronomy. She turns raw data into actionable real-time alerts for UFO Track's member community, along with her husband and UFO experiencer John. They represent a paradigm shift in the whole conversation about UAPs, alien technology, and so many of the other things that are in the heavens. And now, a brief biology background, I should say, of John Craig. Scientist, engineer, inventor, and author. John approaches the UFO phenomenon with the skepticism of scientists and the curiosity of an experiencer. Having witnessed anomalous activity since childhood, John utilizes his skills in programming, electronics, and data analysis to build the necessary tools to measure the metrics of the unexplained. He is the mastermind behind UFO-Track's real-time alert system and the inventor of both UFO Sense Detection Device and the UFO CQ-CE5 Communications Unit. As we welcome both of our very special guests, we say a hearty good morning to you, John Craig and E.J. Craig. Thanks for joining us on this amazing day.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, Dr. Sky. It's great to be here.
Well, thank you. And let me start with E.J. I tried to do the best to identify, and it was a little more formal than I probably wanted, your backgrounds. But E.J., talk to us. Your passion for this whole subject, when did it begin? I think I read a little bit about it. It's been a long time. But welcome to the show. Tell us your background in this whole subject, because I think people will find it fascinating to connect the dots.
Well, my father was in aerospace, as I said. He was on the Apollo and Skylab and Viking projects. And so we always had our eyes to the skies and our nose to the news. And we were just constantly, as a family, just talking about what's out there, what's up there, you know, what's happening in our skies. Generally, it was about the space program and, you know, what we knew, what was coming and what we hoped to discover and just wonderful things like that. But, you know, there was always this, who do you think we might discover and some things like that. So we always were open for these discussions, and it was all scientifically proposed conversations. It wasn't like it was a belief system that, you know, there might be somebody out there. Do you believe in UFOs? It was a knowing that there's likely, with the vastness of this universe, the odds are in our favor that we are not alone. So, you know, what's out there, and when will we find it? And so that's been with me all my life. And then when I got together with John, we've been We've been friends since 1981. We married in 2007, and when he started bringing his paranormal past into our relationship, we continued those same conversations about what it would take to actually bring this disclosure issue to the light of day. What would proof look like? Yes. How could we have it happen, and what would it look like? And that's how we developed UFO Track.
It's very interesting, and thank you for being here on our Theater of the Mind stage as we introduce both of you to the world on one of the most powerful radio stations around, and I'm sure the signal, as I say many times, in confidence, not with exactitude, that the signal goes way out into the cosmos. John Craig,
can only hope.
it's a pleasure to have you here too, and a little bit more about yourself. But what's most important to me, what a love affair here. This is incredible. We have two people who've come together and have bonded together, I'm sure for many other reasons, personal ones that we don't talk about, but in the spirit of this whole subject of UFOs, you're the first two dynamic duo that I've actually talked to that's actually together. So it's a life bond. Tell us more about yourself, John. This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's been really great. We've been a couple since 2007, like EJ said. I was married before, and my wife suddenly passed away, previous wife, and we all knew each other. I was working for EJ's dad on some huge solar energy projects, but we just have been, ever since then, been a happy team trying different things, that we love doing. And I've had a passion for researching UFOs and UAPs ever since my family saw something in 1960, and I've had all kinds of experiences we can get into if you wish later on here. But it's just been an ongoing adventure trying to figure this out. That we finally figured out that we're tired of waiting 80 years for somebody to tell us that the truth is. And so I came up with a sentence that kind of describes what we're doing. We're proactively seeking evidence that demands an explanation instead of triggering an investigation. That kind of sums it up pretty well.
No, I agree. And I think it's fascinating to discuss this because we hear so much, right, EJ and John, that it's so many people are talking about this subject. We're just bombarded with information. And on this particular show, there are many other great ones on this radio station, but we want to talk about the mysteries of our world and the continuance of our discussion for these 2 hours. And I want to get everybody else in the world involved, as we call it, a Theater of the Mind. Join in, ladies and gentlemen, with your questions and comments on these particular subjects. Maybe a few teaser questions would be this. What is the best UFO UAP story that you, ladies and gentlemen, have ever heard about? And actually, we're sitting back and going, that one really just baffles my mind. There could be many. And then, obviously, the question that many people can answer, and maybe by doing this show, we'll get closer. When will we see some physical evidence of the UFO UAP phenomenon? We have all the disclosures that people are telling about the government's information, but that's a disclosure in my mind, ladies and gentlemen, with a small d. So the contact number, 1-800-848-9222, a rare opportunity to talk to two individuals that are, I'm sure, madly in love, not only with each other, but how about the concept of what we're talking about here? Because I gave a talk a long time ago to both of you down at the Roswell Museum. And I was just trying to help people identify more of the objects in the nighttime sky by doing it as like a little tutorial on a roadmap of the heavens. And I've said it before, and I don't mean to be overly Blovacian here, but a lot of the people there, 500 people in that auditorium, some came up to me and were actually putting their finger in my chest saying, "You're not a believer. You're trying to make this more difficult." And I'm saying, well, wait a minute. All I'm trying to do is help you separate fact from fiction with more data, more information. And this is way before AI. So let me not steal your thunder. EJ and John, why don't you tell us a little bit more about UFO-track.com? What is this, and how is this going to help maybe get to disclosure or actually get you as an observer, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit more of a credible sighting with all the tools that you're going to describe? Give us the information on that.
Well, we decided, John and I would have discussions, just, late night pillow talk if you want, I don't know, but we would just talk for hours and hours about why hasn't disclosure happened and what's it going to take to finally prove that there's something out there flying in our skies right now. And what we decided is it was going to take multiple witnesses from multiple angles with multiple cameras photographing the same object at the same time. So because that's going to be impossible to dismiss. If we can get multiple people photographing the same object at the same time from different locations who are unrelated, that's just going to be impossible to dismiss. That's going to demand explanation, as John says, versus require more investigation. It's going to be proof positive sitting right there. So how do you do that? How do you connect people together in a network so that you can alert them if somebody sees something, and then everybody can go outside and go take pictures of the same thing. And so what we've developed is UFO-track.com, which is a membership, a worldwide membership of people who want to be notified if somebody sees something in their general area, roughly a 50-mile radius. And
amazing. Yeah.
It's got a membership fee and everything like that. It's very, very basic. We want everybody to play and not have a fiscal wall keeping people out. We want everybody to play, but we want to create a worldwide network of people willing to be notified if there is something seen in their area that they then go out and take a picture of, and then, of course, send back to us. We've got a little system where if somebody says something, then the email comes back goes out to them, and they attach photographs back to us, hopefully as in real time as possible. We post them out on our website in real time as possible on a real-time map that so somebody in Pennsylvania can see what somebody in California is seeing in near real time. Mm-hmm. So what we want is to alert everybody that something is in our sky, and we'll tell them what direction to look, and hopefully they'll go out prepared with cameras in hand, and we'll just start collecting all the evidence of a singular event in one place, different angles, different witnesses, different everything. Imagine as if we could have done that with the Phoenix Lights.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're hoping for, is like the next great Phoenix Lights.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that's different. One thing that's different about what we're doing than what other UFO research groups are doing is this is the first time anybody's tried a real-time data network.
That's what I was going to talk about, John, because this is extremely unique because, again, look at all the information that's come in. And for maybe 25 or more years, I was the correspondent on Coast to Coast, giving everybody updates on what they can visually see and blah, 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 ... But we had a number of individuals that were collecting this, like the National UFO Reporting Center, and not to disparage them at all, in that time and period, there wasn't the technology tools that we have now. So please continue. If it is correct, this is like the first time that a real deep dive into AI connectivity to your stuff has really taken place, right?
Yeah, we're finding more and more uses for AI as we develop this. And but the big difference between us and like MUFON, for instance, which we've been members of, is the real-time data and real-time map that you can go look at immediately and see a report on there if you're the one who experienced it or your neighbor, anybody within 50 miles, and you got the alert, you can go look at the map. And we don't hold back on any data if they're not a member and they report it in. Anybody can report in, but we will vet that data, so it does take a little bit of time to put it up. But the members, that data goes instantly. And that, unlike MUFON, where they're investigating after the fact, and both of these kind of investigations are important, real time and after the fact. But yes, we're just doing something unique and new.
But we're doing what we can do to collect the data in real time. So if it does get handed off to investigators, they've got quite the package to investigate. They've got multiple witnesses, beautiful photographs, and quite the story to tell. But what we want to see is the real time data being collected in real time, shared with the world in real time on the website sightings.ufo-track.com.